Hi, Year 12. Welcome to Sequence and Series Tutorials. We're going to have a look at Practice Task 6. This will be a series of videos which will each focus on the 4 parts of this question. So in this first video, we'll do a read-through and have a look at the first part of the question. So here we go. Jack is planning to run a marathon. He will need to set in place a training program in order to successfully complete the course. Currently, he has a fairly low level of fitness. I hear that. So he needs to ensure that his program does not lead to any sporting injuries, but will also enable him to build up to the fitness level required to complete 42 kilometers. In this task, you are investigating Jack's runs programs. One of Jack's friends suggests that he starts his training program with a distance of 4 kilometers, steadily increasing at a constant rate of 2 kilometers per week. Another friend suggests he starts at 5 kilometers and increases his runs by 16% each week. Working independently, use the above information to answer the following questions. And the first one is, what distance will Jack be running for each training program sometime after the 5th week? You select a week. By the end of which week would the total distance he has run first exceed 100 kilometers? Compare both training programs. The third one is, if Jack wants to be running 42 kilometers as soon as possible, which training program gets him there the fastest? And the last one is, Jack decides to undertake the first training program and his friend Ryan does the second program. By the 11th week, Jack has run in total an impressive distance. How long does it take for Ryan to surpass him within a kilometer? All right, so let's have a closer look at this first problem, which says, what distance will Jack be running for each training program sometime after the 5th week? Okay. Well, why don't we, 6 is after 5. Why don't we try week 6? So we've got 2 programs here. Let's look at program 1. And what do we know about program 1? Well, let's see. Start with a distance of 4 kilometers. That we call A. Increasing at a constant rate of 2 kilometers per week. That we call a D, and that means this is an arithmetic sequence. D equals to 2. Now we're going to look at week 6 here, so that's our N. N equals 6. So because this sequence is increasing with a common difference of 2, it's arithmetic. So we're going to use this formula right here. So let's go for it. Term the 6th equals A, that's 4, plus D, that's 2, and then we do N minus 1, so that's 6 minus 1. All right, 6th term equals 4 plus 2, 6 minus 1, that's 5. And make sure you don't mix up your order of operations here. We've got to do 2 times 5 first and then add the 4. So that gives us 4 plus 10. So our 6th term is 14. 14 kilometers is how far he would be running in the 6th week with program 1. All right, let's have a look at program 2. Okay, let's see. Another friend suggests he starts at 5 kilometers, so that's our A. A equals 5. And increases his runs by 16% each week. 16%. Well, when they give you a percent, that's a clue that, well, if you start with 100% and you increase it by 16%, that means you're ending up with 116%. And the The decimal equivalent to that is 1.16. So what that is in this problem is a common ratio. That's our R, right? 1.16. And that means we have a geometric sequence right there. So we've got an R of 1.16, and once again, our N is 6. So we're going to plug those into our geometric general term. So here we go. T6 equals A, that's 5, times R, that's 1.16, raised to the power of N minus 1, so 6 minus 1. All right, that's just 5 times 1.16 to the 5th power. All right, now we're going to have to go to the calculator. Not necessarily the graphics calculator for this, but we will need it on the future questions here. So let's go ahead and solve this. We've got 5 times 1.16, and that's raised to the power of, that's this little hat thing here on your graphics calculator right here, raising it to the power of, and in this case, it's raising it to the power of 6 minus 1, which is 5. And then you can just hit execute. We got 10.5. So, kilometers. So that's how far Jack would be running at 6 weeks with program 2. So let's just look over the question again and make sure that we've answered everything. What distance will Jack be running for each training program sometime after the 5th week? You select a week. Okay, so if we want to summarize this, we could say Jack will be running 14 kilometers after 6 weeks at program 1, and 10.5 kilometers after 6 weeks with program 2. It's always a good idea to clarify your calculations in this way, and that'll be sure you will get to achieve for this part of the assessment. All right, so I will see you shortly back here for part 2 of this practice task 6. Thanks, everybody.